those things back so I could figure out what exactly my resume says. Thank you, thank you. I'll get back to you.
I really wanted that.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. My name is Scott Miller, and I'm a candidate for sheriff, as you may have heard by now. It's my pleasure to be here with you this evening. I wanted to mention a few things real shortly about my resume. That's why I'm passing this out, and this is why I'm going to refer you to my web page so that I don't have to go through my entire history. But briefly, I started with the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Department in 1976, went to the Salinas Police Department in 1980, spent 17 years with the Salinas Police Department, going from beat cop up to captain, division commander. I had the privilege of managing each of the three major divisions in Salinas PD: administration, field operations, and investigations. In 1997, I was chosen as Chief of Police for the City of Pacific Grove Police Department, and I spent 6 of the most wonderful years of my life as Chief in Pacific Grove. And my accomplishments in Pacific Grove are the accomplishments for which I am most proud. The most fun I had were the 17 years in Salinas, but Pacific Grove was the most challenging time and the most rewarding. I have a master's degree from Cal Poly Pomona. I have a bachelor's degree in organizational behavior from the University of San Francisco and an AA from MPC. I graduated from Pacific Grove High School. I graduated from the FBI National Academy Class 170 and from California Post Command College, Class 22. So those are kind of the educational highlights. I've taught at various police academies. I've taught at Chapman University, Monterey Peninsula College. I've taught at the academies at Gavilan through South Bay Regional Police Training Academy, and that covers most of them. I've taught at Pacific Grove High School, one of our law enforcement classes. I've done just about every job you can do in police work, had just about every assignment, either as a command person, a supervisor, or as a frontline person. So there's really very little that I haven't experienced. During my 6 years as police chief, I learned a lot about what it's like to be at the top. Thanks. The difference between being an executive and being in mid-management, or being a first-line supervisor, or being a beat cop. Being the executive, when you have the responsibility to hire and fire and appropriately discipline people, that's a different animal than being a supervisor, mid-manager. That's where the buck stops. That's where you earn your money. When I worked for Salinas PD, that captain division commander position I held became what's now the deputy chief position. In fact, Cassie McSorley followed me. She got my slot when I left for Pacific Grove, and she's still there now, as you may know, as a deputy chief. So I've detailed my background and qualifications on this sheet and also on my website, which is millerforsheriff2010.com. millerforsheriff2010.com, and I've addressed some issues there and my priorities and so forth, if you'd like to go there. On the back of this page is the letter of endorsement that I received this week from the Monterey County Prosecutors Association, and it pretty much speaks for itself. I'll answer any questions you have about my qualifications, about my history, about my experience, about my position on issues. Feel free to call me. I believe my number's on there. If it's on there, I do believe 655-8567. And I will answer that. I'll get back to you as soon as I can if I'm not there. Okay? But all this stuff is really meaningless, the stuff I've done, other than what it can indicate to you as to how I will be as a sheriff. It's nice to have the resume, and a lot of people have resumes, but it's really how I'm going to express that in terms of the vision for the Sheriff's Department. First of all, I'll come to work each day thinking about you, the men and women of the Sheriff's Department, and how I can make your job easier. You are the Sheriff's Department. The Sheriff's Department is not a building or a collection of technology. It's you men and women. And it's my job as sheriff to put together a command team that will respond appropriately to your needs. You need a command staff that shares the same qualities you have of selflessness, of teamwork, of hard work and dedication. I can't promise we'll agree on everything or that I'll be able to give you everything you want, but I'll try my best. I won't receive everything I want either, I'm sure. It's a two-way street. But I'm not here for my ego. I'm not here for self-aggrandizing. I'm not here to seek higher office. I'm not here because I need people to call me sheriff. And frankly, I don't need the money either. I'm here to serve Monterey County and to serve you. It's been my opinion for some time that the Sheriff's Department has not been as well managed as it could be and as it should be, and that's why I'm running for sheriff. The department has serious issues and challenges that we need to confront. We need to realize that there are these challenges and these issues, recognize them, and then try and come up with the solutions together. Fostering an us against them kind of mentality has never been productive, and it isn't productive now. It doesn't solve problems. And ironically, the closer you are to a problem, that's frontline people, frontline supervisors, the closer you are, sometimes the less impact and input you have on how to solve those problems. And we want to change that. Monterey County Sheriff's Department has a proud history. I'm familiar with the history. You know, keeping the peace since 1850. One of the things that impressed me and led me into a law enforcement career, I lived down on a ranch up near Botcher's Gap, down above Paula, Colorado Canyon, and used to see the deputies that cruised through there. Used to hang out with them a little bit, and came to really appreciate what the sheriff's office means to the county. In 1980, I applied for 2 places. It's the only 2 places I've ever applied as a police officer. It was the Salinas Police Department and the Monterey County Sheriff's Department. I got offered jobs the same week with both departments. Coming from Santa Clara County Sheriff's Department, however, I had just completed a couple of months working the jail one long summer in the jail. And when I looked at the 2 organizations, I saw this one has a full-time jail and this one doesn't. So I went at the time with the one that didn't have the jail, because having spent 4 years as a patrol deputy, I knew that if I had my druthers, I would rather be outside. I don't know if any of you feel the same way, but that's what kind of swayed me to going with Salinas PD. But I absolutely respect the people who work in the jail, and my time in the jail, if nothing else, gave me the realization of how tough that job is and how thankless it can be when the inmates are all yelling, "Hey, deputy," to you and asking for favors and such. So I absolutely understand what it's like to work in a jail. Now, some of the important changes that I hope that you will embrace with me. That people will be promoted based on their ability and their quality work, their character, not because of who they supported in the last election. People will get the training they need to reach their true potential, and you won't have to take time off on your own time to go to critical training. We will ensure our employees are fully certified in their respective classifications. There will be no self-aggrandizing and no self-promotion from the sheriff's office, from the office of the sheriff. I will not hide in my office. I'll be out and about and working with you. I will not spend precious funds frivolously on formal inspections, open houses, or dog and pony shows. This is a critical time economically, as you all know, and we won't be wasting $15,000 to have a formal inspection. If we're going to do inspections, we'll find another way to do it at no cost to the taxpayers. I'll stand up for you when you've done your level best, and I will hold you and me accountable for everything we do. If accountability involves disciplinary action, it will be fair and even-handed. We'll have a helicopter again someday, I hope, but it won't be at the expense of freezing field deputy positions. We'll engage the community in our policing efforts and do our best not to antagonize the people that we're sworn to serve. I personally vow that I will not act capriciously or arbitrarily. I will not act out of selfish or malicious motives. Your command staff will do our best to emulate the qualities you demonstrate every day, to earn your trust and be an example of what the Sheriff's Department is. I thank you all for your efforts on behalf of our community, and I thank you for your time. Thank you very much.